Hey DRB people, it's Hunter here in the Tin Can Turtle, and we are still here in sunny South Carolina. It's a beautiful day here. Hey, I wanted to take a moment of your day just to talk a little bit about our week's reading. Hope you guys are doing well with that. Hope you are finding time to listen, to reflect, to be grateful, to be in awe even as we go through these first books together, the book of Genesis and the Gospel of Luke. One of the things that struck me in our reading in Genesis is the story of Jacob. He's about to be exiled to the land of Padan Aram to go and spend time with his uncle Laban because he's in fear of his life. He stole his brother's birthright, and well, you know the story, but the part that struck me in the reading this week was when he's about to embark into this time of exile, full of uncertainty. He falls asleep, his head is on a rock, and in that time of sleep he has a dream. And in the dream he sees these angels that are ascending and descending from heaven to earth. And then he hears a voice and he hears God speak to him. And God tells him that he's going to be faithful to the promise that he's made with Abraham and his father Isaac, that God would give him the land that he was currently fleeing from, that God would make him a blessing to all the peoples of the earth, and that God would bring him back to that place. What an amazing reassurance as you're about to head off into a world of uncertainty. When he wakes up, he says some words, and these are the words that struck me. He said, "Surely God was with me here, and I didn't even know it." And then he memorializes the place. He takes that stone that his head was on and he anoints it with oil, and it becomes a monument of God's presence with his life and God's promise to him as he heads out into a world of great uncertainty and lots of unknowns. And the wisdom that Jacob demonstrates in that moment is a kind of wisdom that I want to take into my own life. And I think it's a wisdom that can be fruitful for all of us. Jacob memorializes, he stewards this moment of inspiration where he realized things he hadn't realized before. He saw things that he hadn't seen before. God was with him and he didn't even know it. And that truth is a truth that we are all going to need as we move into whatever future we might have. That God is with us even when we don't know it. The promise that he has spoken over our lives is a promise that he will be faithful to. And in Jacob's case, he's going to bring us back to that. He's going to bring him back to that. And Jacob will go back to that place. Later on in chapter 38, I think it is, or 35, we see him back at Bethel, a place that he named, a place where God met him, a place where God revealed to him something he hadn't seen before. Now, one of the ways that wisdom has kind of made a practical appearance in my own life is through the practice of journaling. Most of the devotionals that I share with you are a result of journaling and stewarding these moments of awakening, of revelation, of insight that God gives as we walk with him and as we allow the scriptures to speak to us, allow him to speak to us through the scriptures. Journaling is a great way for us to steward these moments with God, memorialize his words in our life, his presence in our life, his promises in our life. And I recommend it to you if you have the wherewithal, the time, the desire. It has been a very fruitful exercise, spiritual practice in my own life. There's lots of ways that you can do this, not journaling per se, but stewarding the moments of inspiration and God's involvement in your life. It could be taking concrete action in areas of gratitude. Heather has a gratitude jar that she writes things that she's grateful for, and she puts those things in a jar, and at the end of the year on New Year's Eve, we break out the jar and we read through the moments of where God proved himself faithful in our lives. So like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. Maybe you're going to set yourself up a big rock in your backyard, and that will be one of the ways that you remember that God is with you even when you don't know it. So you guys be blessed, friends. And what do you say we show up again tomorrow for the podcast? I'll be there, Lord willing. Still here in beautiful South Carolina. Looking forward to sharing that time with you then. Until then, you go forward in God's joy. You let his joy be your strength. And you remember this, that you are loved. Alrighty? I'll talk to you again tomorrow. You guys take care. Bye-bye.